Okay, so 4/6 is called fractional coefficients. Means that we're going to have fractions for every single thing in here. And if you're like me, you hate fractions and you want to get rid of them, it's nice to make them go away. So here's how we are going to make them go away very easily. And if you remember this first step, that this is going to be the easy lesson for you. But you've got to figure out what's one thing first of all. Like, we're going to look at this, and do we see that there are 3 fractions going on there? We've got x squared over 2 is equal to 2x over 15 plus 1 over 10. Do we agree that this would at least be a lot easier if there were no fractions? Okay, so one of the things that we can do to get rid of the fractions is let's find a number that 2, 15, and 10 all go into. Like, they all go into this number. They all go into 30, and watch what happens when I multiply everything by 30. 2 goes into 30 15 times, leaving us a 15x squared. Okay? That 2 is going to cancel out with that 30, leaving a 15 in the numerator. I'm going to do it again with this 15. This 15 is going to cancel with that 30, and it's going to leave a 2 in the numerator. But there was already a 2x up there. The 15 cancels with the 30, leaving a 2, and that 2x is still there. The 10 goes into 30, leaving a 3 up top, and there's still a 1 up there as well. Are we okay with what I did? Because actually that's all we're going to do for this lesson. We've got 15x squared is equal to 4x plus 3. But for this one, it says that we need to simplify this. And actually, I'm sorry, it doesn't say we need to simplify this. For this one, it says we need to solve it. So we need to figure out what x is equal to. How can we do that? Let's minus 4x. Let's do that. 15x squared minus 4x from both sides would give me this. Now what? So we can't combine those two. The x squared and the x, we can't combine them when we're adding and subtracting. With multiplying or dividing, we could, but not with adding or subtracting. But we're getting close to something that we've done about 250 million times in this class.
Yeah, you subtracted.
Let's subtract the 3, and 15x squared minus 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. What do you think we're going to do with this at this point? Factor it. That's what we keep doing every time we run into this scenario. But how do we factor this? First times last gives me negative 45. I need 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 45, but when added will give me negative 4. Negative 5 and negative 9 and 5. Right? Negative 9 times 5 is negative 45. And negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. So we're going to break this up here into a positive 5x and a negative 9x. Now I have 4 terms. How did that help me? We can group them. 15x squared and 5x have what in common? 5x, so there's a 5x out front. What's left inside?
3x.
Okay. Negative 9x minus 3 has what in common? What's left inside? 3x plus 1. Good. This is our good sign. We've got that same thing again. So what are my 2 factors? And we're nearing the end now. What do I do? Set each one equal to 0. If we want to figure out how to solve this, we've got 5x minus 3 equals 0, but we've also got 3x plus 1 will equal 0. This becomes 5x equals 3. Divide both sides by 5, and we get x is equal to 3/5. Over here, we're going to subtract 1 from each side, and we get 3x is equal to negative 1. Divide by 3, and we get x is equal to negative 1/3. That's our two solutions. I'm going to zoom out for a moment. Kind of a lot that went on there. But actually the first part wasn't so bad. It was just getting rid of those denominators. So the only thing we're really picking up today is how do I get rid of the denominators? And that's our main skill, that once we get rid of them, it looks like almost everything is going to be like factoring or something we can deal with. Yes, ma'am?
That's a 30 that you
Yes, 30. Yeah, because 2, 15, and 10 all go into 30. It's the smallest number we could think of that all three of them went into. That's why we chose 30. And we're going to do that each time. We're going to look for the smallest number that each one of them goes into. Yes, but you got to okay, so we have three things here. We've got x over 2, negative 1, and 5, 6. But those are not three fractions. So what could we do? Yeah, let's write it as three fractions then so that we can solve that problem. Here we go. Is that now I'm looking for something that 2, 1, and 6 all go into. They all go into 6. So check it out. 2 goes into 6 3 times, so we're going to have 3x. 1 goes into 6, sorry, I wrote a pause there. Then finally, we've got 6 goes into 6 once, leaving me just 1 times 5 up there, which is 3x minus 6 is equal to 5. Well, how the heck can I solve that? Because yeah, it's actually way easier than the last one. We don't need to plus 6 on both sides. And we get plus 6. So we get 3x is equal to 11. From there, divide by 3. 11 over 3. Don't freak out about fractions. They're going to happen more often than whole numbers are for the rest of your time in math classes. So we're kind of done with like those whole numbers. It's going to probably almost everything is going to work out to some sort of fraction of some sort. So I'll give everyone a second to get caught up there. All right, let's try it again. Talk to me. What are we going to do? Yes, ma'am. Good. So we've got, put a 1 under that 2, so that we've got 3 fractions now. Okay, so 6, all of those things go into 6. 6 goes into 6 once, so we get just 1y. Okay, so we get, it's 6 times whatever's already there. There was already a 2 up top. It's not canceling with that. And then finally, 3 goes into 6, leaving what in the top? 2 times 2. Good. There was already a 2 on top, and we just said that 3 canceled with the 6, leaving another 2 on top. So here's what we've got. 1y is just y, plus 12 is equal to 4. Okay. Y, if we take 12 away from 4, what do I get? Negative 8. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, talk to me about this one. No different. Okay, the denominators all go into 6. So I am going to just put that around them. And if I were to multiply each one by 6, this 3 goes into 6 twice, so we get 2t. That 6 goes into 6 once, leaving me just 1 times 5. 2 goes into 6 3 times, leaving me 3 times 3. 2t plus 5 is equal to? Keep going. Subtract 5, we get 2t equals 4. T equals 2. So I want to leave you the rest of this time to work on the homework, the first half of the homework, and then tomorrow we're going to we're going to be working with some decimals instead of fractions, and you'll realize why you like fractions more than decimals once you actually have to use decimals in larger things. Most people think they like decimals more than fractions until they see certain lessons. They're like, well, I don't know how to do that. Like, it'll be much easier working with fractions. So we'll leave off there. You've got the first half. So actually, you've got two things you have to do. You have to finish the second half of 4-5 tonight and the first half of 4-6. But together, it's kind of like one assignment. You're doing half of one assignment and half of the other.